Ooh, mechanics are going to the internet and exposing the car industry. They're saying that getting these new cars is a scam, that they're just full of software, they're full of bugs. Let's go ahead and check out what these mechanics have to say. Video by Generation Cook.
Prime example of why it is so expensive to repair today's vehicles. This Mazda CX-5 came in with a differential bushing that was completely blown out and torn apart. And as you can see, that bushing is completely ready to fall out of the car. Mazda does not sell this bushing by itself. This bushing is easily able to be pressed in and pressed out. However, they don't supply it to us or anybody in the world. So the only way to service this bushing is to replace the entire subframe. And that is a lot of added cost, time, labor, materials that is unnecessary. And we hate to see this, but our hands are tied when we cannot get the parts.
Well, if this is not a great indicator that you should not buy anything built by Stellantis, I don't know what is. We've had numerous vehicles coming in, these late model Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep coming in that are under the Stellantis title, are they're just falling apart. These 3.6s are having so many cam issues, and just even the 5.7s, we're starting to see a bunch of junk on them. So if you're looking at a late model Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, I would definitely recommend you avoid them because they're starting to become big problems.
Wow.
Customers are always asking me, Ryan, why do you not like BMWs? What is it about a BMW that you don't like? Let me show you. Everything in the car is plastic. Everything is plastic, and it's so brittle. This broke in my hands.
Bro, what exactly are we looking at? That's like some sort of scene out of the Matrix. This is like Keanu Reeves just got up out the front of the car and just started started crawling around all these tubes. This does not look traditional at all.
But you
It's
can see where it's
confusing.
dry rotted. The white is stress marks and dry rotted. So everything is brittle and plastic. Even replacing such as the water pump, the impeller inside the water pump, plastic. This fin, vacuum actuated fin, plastic. It is all plastic.
Paying all that money for plastic.
All these coolant line hoses, they are all some form of plastic. This vehicle that you guys are paying so much money for, yes, they're nice vehicles. They look beautiful, right? They're a beautiful piece of equipment. They look beautiful. But y'all have no idea what y'all are really paying for. You guys are paying for brittle plastic. Do you believe things that get hot and cold should be made in plastic, or it should be made with something that lasts longer? The materials that they're putting in this is cheap as hell, and you guys are paying top dollar for this. As a mechanic, would I ever drive one of these? Hell no. Nice to own, it'll break your wallet. I'd rather go with a Toyota or a Honda or something like that that'll last longer. But honestly, they're doing the same thing with plastic stuff as well too. They haven't gotten to the point with plastic hoses. Everything's still rubber. But just be wary. You guys are going to spend a lot of money if you like this brand. Just be wary.
Terrible.
All of these little GM cars with the Ecotech engines, they have an abortion of cooling system. They always leak. It doesn't matter how many parts you replace, the new parts leak 10, 20, 30,000 miles down the road, unless it's an OEM replacement, and then it might last 40, 50, 60. And then, every single time you're trying to pop off one of these hard plastic cooling lines that have a stupid-ass pop-in fitting, just snaps off. Well, now we're getting to the point where some of these lines are back-ordered. So what are you going to do? Exhibit A. This pops into the water outlet, and it just pops in to that metal. So we're just going to sit here and act like hard plastic lines aren't going to get brittle and deteriorate when coolant's running through them nonstop? Come on, dude. This is such piss-poor quality, it's ridiculous. But anyways, had to replace this, and this probably isn't even 6 months old. Moto Rad. These plugs down here, they leak every single time on this replacement part. So we switched over to a different brand, Murray. Anyways, as you can see, I've already had this plug out once, replaced the O-ring on it, and covered it with RTV and popped it back in there. This time when I took it off, well, what's that? Oh, a big old chunk of metal missing? Wonder where that is. Oh, and don't come at me with, you installed it improperly, blah, blah, blah. 89 inch-pounds. It's easy. But, yeah, so that's a month out, that line. So what I had to do was take a piece of brake line, trim the hard plastic line, shove the brake line inside of it, and then take hose and slip it over and clamp it in place. Cars are not quality anymore. It's quantity over quality, and it's fucking piss poor.
You know what's kind of crazy? It used to be in mechanics that you look for the oldest guy in the building because he's probably going to know the most. I've been a mechanic myself for almost 15 years. I used to always look up to the older heads, but now we got things like hybrids. We're not dealing with carburetors and points anymore. Electronic AC compressors, CVT transmissions, fully electric ABS units. It's just becoming more and more common that if you don't have a good scan tool, you're not going to be able to work on these cars.
These are going, what, 80,000, 60,000? They got...
You know, we were watching a video, that little tablet that we showing, like, mechanics have to pay so much to get these software updates and these apps and everything like that, and that costs extra money for what? Like,
How you doing?
The old one.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, I know. Little dinky porcelain.
Be pretty sad for a Honda. I mean, they're supposed to go forever.
Yeah, Honda's supposed to be a good car, but the newer ones are junk. You see old Honda Civics and Honda Accords on the road with 300,000-400,000 miles in the same engine. Running beautiful. These are going, what, 80,000, 60,000? They got head problems. They should all be a recall. Every one of them should be recalled.
100%.
Just because it says sport don't mean you can go beating on a circle track up in West Warren. That thing is, on the wire and harness that came from the junkyard, they cut it. They cut this one. They cut that one. They cut the main one going into the fuse box. I'm like, why would you do something stupid like that? Me, bro. The one that came from the junkyard, they broke this. Broke and broke all the way around. You look, it broke all the way around.
All right, I'll get going. Thank you very much.
See this little Ford logo right here stamped on this thing? 2021 Ford Bronco, just finished the water pump at 60,000 miles. Check this out. Would you buy something like that? I think I would rather get in a car crash using my toolbox than I would with this Ford Bronco. This thing's a POS if you ask me.
that is terrible, bro. Like, it's just loose as a goose. God damn, bro. Man, you get hit with a grocery cart. That's getting caved in.
Yeah, I think if you get in a car crash with this, you'll probably die.
Damn, dog, don't say
Here's
that.
the reason why I left being a car mechanic and just quit the trades completely. Number one, the time. I used to work 60 hours a week. I used to commute 2 hours a day in total, there and back. And when I got home, it was around dinner time, and basically I had an hour or two with my family, then I did it all over again the next day. Number two, I feel like car mechanics are auto technicians because we actually diagnose the problem and not just change parts. We diagnose the problem and make sure it's done right. Well, if you're a good mechanic, that's what you do. We are just underpaid compared to every other single trade, even though that we are doing every single other trade in one thing. We're electricians, we're plumbers, we're HVAC people, and the list goes on. And now this is a real reason why I quit the car mechanic thing. I looked at how my life would be. I would work 60 hours a week for the next 40 years, retire at 65. I was just like, there must be more to this. There better be more to life than just working your butt off until you're 65. And this is why I learned another high income skill set where I don't have to trade my time for money anymore. And the crazy part is the future is headed this way. Because of this high income skill set, I'm making way more money than I did as a car mechanic, and also I work way less hours. And now I have time for my family. Right now it's like 10 a.m. and I'm just shooting this video. If you want to learn this high income skill set the right way, check the link in my profile. There'll be a 5-day challenge. Do it and it will change your life. The other thing is you do what you're doing for the next 40 years and retiring at 65.
What is the average technician? So I want you guys to go in the comments right now and tell me what you think the average technician, automotive technician, is getting paid in the United States right now. And I know it's different.
Like
across the
$18?
country, but just give me what you think the average is. It's pretty low. Right now, the average technician in the United States, gave you a second to do that, is right at $47,000.
Okay, so about
$47,000. We wonder why we can't get people into the business.
well,
right?
a little bit more than 18.
I talked to Keith Perkins yesterday, super smart guy in this industry, and as a trainer, his wife owns a shop. I mean, a very intelligent person. And he quoted something to me, and I said, I'm going to use that. He said he called it the 30-30-30. You get to go to trade school and pay $30,000 to come out of it and spend $30,000 on tools so then you can go ahead and make $30,000 in your first year. Yeah, I don't think very many people want to sign up for that, right? And as an industry, and Mr. Farley, you know, if you ever see this, we need to first think about how are we compensating the technicians that we're bringing into the business? And how are we treating them when they do come in? Well, first of all, let me tell you, manufacturers, dealerships, up to manufacturers, let me tell you how technicians there generally get paid. I've done a video on this before, but it's part of this problem. It's a huge part of this problem. Those technicians get paid flat rate, generally, at a dealership. I don't, leave a comment down below if you're a dealership technician that doesn't get paid flat rate. There's some, I'm sure. But the overwhelming majority get paid flat rate, and they get no guarantee.
Now, if the technician takes it out in 3...
That's crazy. So if you don't know what flat rate is, it's just like if they have one job, they get quoted to do this job in 4 hours, you get the flat rate fee. But guess what? These mechanics know it doesn't take 4 hours. It might take 8 hours. So you're really literally working for those 4 extra hours for free. Yeah.
3 hours, he still gets paid for the full 6.5. But if it takes him 8 hours to get this axle, let's say it's rusted, it's crappy, whatever else, unfortunately, he's still only going to be paid the 6 hours. Now,
And most of these times, look, guess what? They're going to undercut. They're going to underpay the technician.
typically, this is a usually great way for mechanics to make a lot of money. Back in the day, I remember doing like head gasket jobs, getting like 13, 14 hours and knocking it out in a little less than a day. And that was a great thing. And so you're making all this extra money. But now cars are becoming so insanely electrical. The diagnosis is what kills everything. So even like this car, I'm going to show you over here. This is a G-Wagon we're taking apart. And it literally has 7 computers back here to control the navigation, the stereo system, the self-leveling system, all kinds of crazy stuff. But just imagine if you have a short and you have literally 3 pounds of spaghetti to double check and go through. How do you know which one's wrong, which one's bad? And most times they only pay you maybe a half hour or an hour for diag. That's not enough. So technicians are racking their brains, spending hours upon hours to fix this stuff, and then they're not being compensated. On top of that, you know, you're paying for experience. It used to kill me when people would come in and we would like charge them for an hour and we'd fix their car in 20 minutes. And like, that's not fair. You fixed my car in 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I've done, you know, hundreds of these repairs. Let's say it's some sort of electrical short or a loose ground on some of these Ford F-250s. It's a normal thing. We've spent, you know, tons of time researching it, digging into it, repairing these things. So now we have it down to a fine science. One of the uses I always like to use is an actual actuator for your blend door, for your AC. I don't know if you guys ever heard these, but you know, when your dash, you turn it on, you hear this. That's your blend door actuator. It's a $20 part. But people get pissed off when we tell them it's going to be $800 to put it in because we got to take the whole dash, the steering wheel, and the airbag, and everything out of the car. And so they don't realize, like, well, yeah, it's a $20 part, but it's going to take a lot of time to take all that stuff off. And then we want to make sure we do it correctly. We take our proper time and everything else. And it's just, people are not getting compensated the way they.
Man, basically, you just told me to never buy a G-Wagon ever because that shit sounds very expensive. The car is basically just a frame at this point. He still has to work on it.
Used to, and especially now we're in an industry where people don't like to fix stuff. They just will get rid of it and get something new. 90% of the cars that are here and even in the back of the yard are stuff that people walked away from. You know, had maybe a mechanical issue, something else. They decided to walk away from their auto loan. Some people just decided to sell their cars, and this is the way that people are thinking now. So now technicians are faced with the fact, well, do I work at a franchise store and work on new cars and maybe squeak by with hours? Do I work at a used store and basically get run ragged, but then you're not going to get compensated for diag time? Or are you just going to go out and buy and fix cars and flip them yourselves? I actually recommend the latter, but you got to get started somewhere.
It's a lot worse than we actually thought is what we're finding out. If you simply back in and you break your tail light and you find that tail light somewhere else and you buy it and you replace it yourself, there's a reader in the tail light that reads to the computer. The car will know that that tail light came from somewhere else and is not coded to your car. At that point, it will shut your car down. You can't drive it. You'll have to get a tow truck. So there's a fee right there. It'll take you to the nearest dealer. At the dealer, you're going to have to pay a diagnostic fee. So now you're paying again. The third time you pay is just simply for the mechanic to plug his computer into your car and then put a password in that okays the light that you already paid for and installed yourself, just to give you the ability to drive your car back. You can't do anything to the car that you are paying on or you own unless the dealer is allowed to make their profit.
That sucks, man. That sucks, guys. That really does suck, man. And we're about to get into the end of the video. But, man, what do you guys think, man? Cars just are not the same anymore. They just really aren't. And I just feel bad for people that have to go through that, especially with the new AI additions to the cameras that they're making. It's just not what you want to see at all, right? It's just not what you want to see, especially in these top dollar cars that are just made out of pure plastic at this point. They are generally saying right now, if you go get a year 2014, 15, that's almost a cutoff to having quality cars that actually might last to the 200,000 mark. All these new cars, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to be paying a lot of money to repair them. So let me know what car and year that you drive. Let me know if you had any crazy repairs in the comments below, and I'll chat with you there. I'll see you on the next video.